Tonight, nearly 200 people arrested in the capital for breaking lockdown rules. Good evening. The hundreds of protesters who took to the streets of the capital last night were condemned by the Metropolitan Police today, accused of potentially spreading COVID amongst themselves, to others in the crowds and the officers who had to deal with the rule breakers. Nearly 200 people were arrested on the day lockdown began in London, as Sam Holder reports. Well, let's take a look at the spread of COVID in the capital here now. So, Sam, what do those stats tell us? It sounds like good news. Overall, it's going down.
Well, look, but I don't think we can say that the virus is under control at the moment. As you said, 20,000 new cases a day in London. Even if we look at some...
Sam, thank you. The government's new advice to families who have relatives in care homes during lockdown and who want to visit them has been criticised as missing the point. Care homes are being asked to put up plastic screens so their residents can receive visitors. But as one care home company told Carolyn Sim, what they really want is for families to be tested to make sure they're not infected. Police are appealing to the public to help identify a suspect after two teenage schoolgirls were stabbed in Croydon this week in different incidents. Now, it is a powerful accusation, and even more so coming from one of the people who lived at Grenfell Tower and who predicted the disaster would unfold. Eddie Defan lived there for 20 years and for years had repeatedly warned lives were being put at risk. Tonight, more than 3 years on from the fire, he tells Rags Martel the government is playing Russian roulette with people's lives while so many still live in homes that are unsafe. Eddie Defan speaking to Rags Martel. Coming up. Before that, London's famous blue plaques have adorned buildings across the capital for many years, but today this city's first black plaque was unveiled to commemorate pianist Winifred Atwell. She was the first black person to have a #1 hit in the UK and became a household name back in the 1950s. Sir Elton John said she was his hero, but as our correspondent Munke Phillips reports from the unveiling in Brixton, there were many more who were inspired by Winifred's exceptional talent. Now, the traditional annual service at the Cenotaph takes place this Sunday to mark Remembrance Day, but for the first time in its history, it is a closed service with the public asked not to attend, and many of the elderly veterans who would usually take part unable to either. Were among them. You won't be able to go, you'll be staying at home, won't you? You are considered to be vulnerable. You won't mind me saying that you are 100 years old. Scaled back marking of Remembrance Sunday this year for you, but now, and the lockdown in particular, what would your message be? Well, Major Ted, hopefully if we all pull together, we will get through this. We thank you so much for talking. Oh, Major Ted Hunt speaking to me earlier this evening. Now, from the other side of the Atlantic, Joe Biden, who is a favourite to become the new president of the United States, isn't just making big political waves. He is inspiring people here to overcome what some may see as personal obstacles. Anna Geary now on how the presidential hopeful who overcame a stammer is giving hope. On to sport now, and it is the first round of the FA Cup this weekend. Now, while the capital's men's football teams are warming up for the first round this weekend, the women's teams have been left on the subs bench. Antoine Allen spoke to the teams who've had their dreams locked down and the teams who haven't. To the Europa League now, and Harry Kane marked his 300th appearance for Tottenham last night with his 200th goal. The Thurrock actor Geoffrey Palmer has died at the age of 93. Time for the weather now. Here's Amanda. And finally this evening, this year marks the centenary of one of the most poignant events following the First World War, the burial of the unknown warrior at Westminster Abbey. On the 11th of November 1920, his name, rank and regiment all unknown, he was returned from the battlefields of Europe and buried with full state honours. And as Sangeeta Kandola reports, 100 years on, one of the songs sung at his burial, Abide With Me, has been re-recorded by the Military Wives Choir. And that is all for now. We are back with the latest after ITV News at 10. Coming up, Charlene White with the ITV Evening News. But from me and the rest of the London team, bye-bye.